Who were the taker states? Kentucky,
Iowa.
southeast part of the country. And by the way, I understand we're one nation. You
The
put
takers
into the pot
and the
what
giver.
you need, I put in what I need, you take what you need, you take what you need. And that's the way it's always been. But if you actually want to call for an accounting, which I think is repugnant to this time, and I don't think it's constructive, and I don't think it's healthy, but if you want to call for an accounting, you're making a mistake, because you lose if we do an accounting.
This is the Mitch
You
McConnell, the
lose.
socialist.
And you happen to be 180 degrees wrong in what you're suggesting.
We're giving them our federal taxes.
Governor Andrew Cuomo, the governor of New York.
So basically, our federal taxes are going to other states. We're not looking for a bailout. We're looking to keep our money in our state. Now, sales taxes all goes to the federal government, for example, as well as federal taxes on your paycheck. But sales taxes, for example, if we generate, say, $1 billion, which is much more, that $1 billion should go back to our state, maybe a little less to run the federal government programs. But basically, we're paying $1 billion and getting back $50 million. Whereas states like Kentucky are contributing $50 million and getting back $1 billion. So we have red welfare states overall trying to say that we need a bailout when we just want our money back. So the fact is, dipping birds in hot oil and racing drugged up animals, which Kentucky are both known for, does not pay our federal bills, does not support the military, and much more. They are the socialists. We need to defund them. Now, Cuomo brought the topic up, but now he needs to act on it. Defund them. Keep our money in-house. What a state earns should stay mostly in that state. That's partly why our taxes are higher, because we're funding others. Leech states. We're also funding animal agriculture. Most of our crops feed force-bred animals. Why is meat so cheap then? If it's feeding force-bred animals that poop it out, thus massive food waste? Because the USDA Farm Bill. And it mostly subsidizes rural regions. It could be even rural upstate New York. Rural regions. Or North Dakota, Iowa, a big animal abusing state with sexist, racist animal abusers like Stephen King and Joni Ernst, who laughs about castrating pigs. That's all paid for by our tax dollars. Even meatless vegans are funding your socialist government sick factory farmed animals. Look up a factory farm video. And you want to talk about welfare more, to expand on what Cuomo said. Well, all parents are on welfare in many forms, and Kentucky is not a really big on birth control, so they have more kids overall, red states, due to religious hogwash, fairy tales. All parents are on welfare in many forms. Socialist school taxes. We have thousands stolen a year. Between our house, me and my wife's house in Texas and New York, we have 6,000 stolen a year when we don't even have health care. But they call that socialism? We're paying for their mouth orgasm or their meat and udder sucking or milk that we're buying off, like federal government. And then we're paying for their kids. Yes, meat-free, child-free, God-free. Meat-free, child-free, God-free. We're funding their kids. School taxes, daycare, paid paternity leave that Trump pushed for federal workers. That's my taxes. Socialist schools and child tax credits, thousands a year or $200 a month. Child support. So when are these right-wingers going to actually stand by their principles and stop being socialists, right down to the federal taxes that they take in way more than they receive in many cases, like Kentucky, useless Kentucky and Iowa, for example, Alabama, and much more. Should stay in each state. And yes, some blue states are takers too, as they showed, Baltimore. So there you have it. The socialists, the real socialists. Stop discriminating and fining. Yes, you're fining childless who don't overpopulate, vegans who don't want your damn drugged up factory animal cooked flesh and udder sucking. And yeah, our federal tax is funding states that hate us. Pretty pathetic that they have the nerve to talk about that when they are the beneficiary of socialism. Shame on them. Thanks, Cuomo. Now act. Petition.